This week on What the Heck, we welcome another special guest, check in with Tyler, talk Father's Day talk, and then play some kind of game that Jake has cooked up for us against my better judgment. Crush some ice, pour a margarita, and enjoy the show. This week on What the Heck, we welcome another special guest, check in with Tyler, talk Father's Day talk, and then play some kind of game that Jake has cooked up for us against my better judgment. Crush some ice, pour a margarita, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of What the Heck. 7 is almost 8, as we were talking earlier, and that's 2 months of nonsense that you've put up with, so we appreciate you. I'm here tonight with Jake Reese, back. We call him part-time.
I missed one episode, man.
It's more than the rest of us. Also, now next to him, to his left, is our very special guest of the evening, the Honorable William Harold Utesch.
Welcome, Will.
Thank you.
We'll get into Will's story. Will is a special human being.
Guest.
Also with us tonight are Tyler Heck. As always, Tyler, what's up, man?
How's it going?
Oh, God, it's so good. I had such a good day. Went to work, cooked out in the sun for a while. I had the opportunity to move my task indoors and opted out of that. So I, soak up some rays. Get a little sweat on.
I wish I could work outside. Oh, wait. I'm not working, so.
Not yet.
Correct.
We've got big things coming.
Big things planned.
Big. Also, I'd like to commend myself on not getting all fried in the sun yet this year.
You must use a lot of sunscreen.
Your face is a little red.
Yeah, but not too bad. I have been so good with the sunscreen this year, so big shout out to me and also to Coppertone.
Are you a big spray sunscreen guy?
Big spray sunscreen guy.
Is everyone here a big spray sunscreen?
I'm all about the cream.
Yeah, he is. I only get lubed up that way if Will's working with me. He can rub me down. Will, I've known for many a year, all the way back to when we were little whippersnappers playing football in a parking garage before Bear games, when there's the weird routine of the sub that's semi-fresh and then the sub after the game that's much less fresh, and somebody holds the doohickey, and there's this whole process. Will and I have been through that together.
I actually think I went through that process once. It was great. I loved it.
It is very particular, though.
It was.
Cowboy cookies.
Cowboy cookies.
Yep.
I was scared because I didn't know what to do, and everybody there was like very rigid with the process.
Everybody has a job, and then
Yeah.
you get offered a bunch of desserts you don't need.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get one of these? Did you? Here, pass those down here. No, really, I'm okay. But Will and I have known each other forever. Will has also known Jake Reese forever. Through the wrestling community and through Jake generally just keeping tabs on what kind of children are born in the town.
Will actually shares a unique birthday with my son, so they're like, birthday brothers, many years apart.
So
No
Kinda like
parents.
twins.
No common parents either.
Well,
well,
you never know.
you can't rule anything out in today's world. But then, since Tyler's been here, Will's probably also kind of been harassing him. So he's just so near and dear to the hearts of the What the Heck show that he was in town, and we thought we had to have him on for your listening pleasure, if that's what you'd like to call it. This week, we have a few shout-outs. Tyler's father, the wonderful man,
Mr. Heck.
Mr. Heck of What the Heck.
If you can guess his first name, you'll also guess my middle name. Just so you know.
Oh, obviously
I know it now.
it's Donald.
I'm not telling
Come on, I
Collin.
told you last week you were right there. You went way far away from
Oh,
me.
yeah, that was an N, so it's probably Michael.
Michael?
Michael Heck.
Very close.
Is it Mike?
Michael. Yep.
Hot damn.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I cracked the code.
7 episodes.
Woo! See, that's not even that much. But anyway, he made us beef jerky. Well, he probably didn't make it for us, but he
No, he
made
made
some,
it
like
for us.
specifically for
Mhm.
us.
When he texted me, he said, "I got beef jerky for you guys for the next taping."
That is next level
And
stuff.
it is phenomenal, let me tell you.
So
good.
that's delicious. Thank you, Mr. Heck. Thanks for your son. He's okay, but mostly I like his style so that we're able to have a logo and a name.
And the beef jerky.
Yeah.
And that's separate.
Okay.
We also were provided some Slim Jims. We talked about Slim Jims last week. I'd never had any. And one Aaron Rowland creepily snuck 3 individually wrapped Slim Jims between my screen door and my front door when I was not home.
That's awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Not the minis. Full size,
Yep.
big, long Slim Jims.
the big long mega,
Foot and a half.
the mega dongs.
Yeah.
He did not tell me though. He told Heck that he's playing telephone to let me know that there was meat sticks hidden in my door.
Yep. I got
Heck's
a
his
text
favorite.
message.
That's pretty rude. But anyway, thanks for the Slim Jims. I tried it out, and it's fine. It's a processed meat.
It's not your
Trash.
favorite gas station meat, is
No,
it?
it's not. That's not going to get a very high seed in the bracket. And also, our final shout out this week, Aaron Lunzer, who's I'd say our number 1 fan in the state of Minnesota, had a birthday this week. I don't remember what day. I wrote it down, but I don't know where that paper went. Aaron, happy birthday, and thanks for listening to us. And also, thank you for putting up with Kevin. Lord knows it takes a special kind of woman for that. So tonight, we're checking in with Tyler. He's got something that he said came into his brain last week, and also told me that it might help us to date Jake a little bit. And anytime we get the opportunity to talk about Jake being old, consider me interested.
It's not
Appreciate
something you
that.
think it's
Appreciate
going to be,
that.
though.
So that's happening. And then today, I was thinking, what are we going to talk about? And then I was like, we could talk about how we're dads. We have dads, and we did stuff with our dads.
I'm the only dad here,
but
but
also, like,
That we know about.
Not the only daddy.
that's confirmed, I guess.
no, he just means you have to call him daddy.
Got it. My bad.
But we all do a lot of stuff that's kind of dad-ish, whether that's landscaping or how we choose to spend our recreational time. So I thought we could talk about that. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, oh yeah, we could talk about how we're turning into dads. And then I was like, wait, Father's Day's coming up. So that fits in perfectly. So we're going to have a little dad talk. And then for one night, and we'll see how it goes on a very trial basis.
This might be the greatest part of any podcast.
Or it also could be the last episode. If this is, we'll miss you all very much.
It's been a fun ride.
But I've passed over the keys to Jake tonight, who's going to run some kind of mystery game, of which I don't know any details. So good luck to us.
There are hopefully two. One guaranteed podcast listener who knows some details. The other one, I'm not sure if he's a regular podcast listener, but reached out for a little advice on the game. So there are two, hopefully.
Man,
They
bringing
know
it
what's-
inside
they know
out.
what's coming.
This is going to get.
Yeah.
If
This
there's
is gonna be
not
tough.
two after you reached out to someone and specifically were like, hey, man, need your help with the podcast, and they still don't listen,
Yeah.
that shows a lack of care.
I'll have to bring that up. That's a
Disrespect.
good point.
It's not my favorite. But without further ado, Tyler, what the heck? Get out of here with your air. We're
All
still
right.
eating airheads.
Still got airheads. Almost gone, though. There's only probably, 15 left in there?
We're getting there.
All right, so the four of us are very big sports fans.
Yeah, finish your sentence. I don't like where you paused that.
Very big sports
We are
fans.
just-
I did that on purpose. Little joke here. And we've talked sports in the past here.
We like
but-
sports and we don't care who knows.
Yeah. No, we don't. Here's what I want to talk about tonight. I would like to hear, and this is going to be a little bit long, but I want to hear.
Did you hear about the time Jake jumped 9 feet over his brothers in the doorway?
He didn't jump. They threw him.
Oh.
Remember?
It was a combination. I started the jump, and they
Oh.
just catapulted me
Got
the
it.
rest of the way.
I want to hear everyone's just favorite pro sports athlete, but they cannot be from your favorite team.
I dig it.
That's
Anyone
dumb.
From because I already know who you would say. You'd
Who?
say Walter Payton.
Maybe.
No, I know you would. But I want to hear who you watch on. It could be it could be current, it could be past. Just
Got
someone
it.
from a different
Oh.
team.
I know mine already.
And it can be any sport. Because I'm going to give two. One from football, one from baseball.
Jake is a huge Red Grange fan. He's pretty current.
Yeah. he is.
Watched them live.
You probably did before there were televisions. You took your family horse and wagon down to Chicago. Caught a game at Wrigley Field before it even had walls or bleachers.
2 days uphill both ways.
All right, I'll start. I'm going to start. Okay. My first, probably Ray Lewis.
Oh, is he? Which team did he play for? The
Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens.
Which prison team
Football.
did he play for, though?
He didn't. He was
Oh,
not convicted.
what's the? He's on in the longest yard. I think.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Mean Machine.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Gridiron Gang.
Who we gonna kiss? The guards.
So Ray Lewis, because of his intensity,
And the way he murders human beings.
and I mean, I guess you could say what he did on the field.
That's intense,
what you
isn't
could call
it?
That's the most
That's the
intense.
intensity. And I really liked watching like his pre and post game like speeches to the team. I don't know why, it just got me really pumped up.
If you guys don't play well today, you're all dead.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's one for that, and then the second one was actually Ken Griffey Jr. for baseball.
It's totally stole mine.
Really?
Do I have to come up with another one now?
No, you can
Yeah.
take that. I only liked watching because he had like the smoothest swing you've ever seen.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Okay, so there's one for Jake.
Oh, Meatloaf.
Are you hungry?
No, he's not an athlete. He's a singer.
I know.
That
but
was last week.
You took the words right out of my mouth. See, I know song lyrics, and Jake has never heard a song in his life.
He didn't even know he was saying them. So those are my two. I don't care who goes next.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Since I was going to say Ken Griffey Jr., I'm going to pass on that. Obviously, that's a good one, but I'm going to go with Derek Jeter. Now, there's a couple of my podcast fans out there, friends, who will fight me on this. They think Derek Jeter was highly overrated, but I don't think he was. I mean, to get a captain of the Yankees, I mean, that's a big deal, and to play for as long as he did and did the things he did, just never really flashy, but he was pretty smooth and consistent performer all the way through. So I'm going to stick with Derek Jeter. On the football side of things, I don't know. There's a couple outside of the Bears, obviously. There's a couple, but I think I like Troy Polamalu.
Because of the hair.
Yes, definitely the hair. The commercials he's in really put him over the top. But, same kind of intensity played with, you talked about Ray Lewis. But Troy Polamalu was a playmaker. I mean, at the line of scrimmage, in the secondary, all over the place. The guy just seemed to get it done and be where the ball was. And, same kind of thing. You get a lot of spirit, energy, just kind of raise his team up a little bit. So I think those are my two.
Will, you got somebody?
I got one I can think of just off the top of my head. Probably get a lot of flack for this because 3 out of 4 of us are Bear fans.
Oh, Joe Flacco.
Yes. No.
Loved him. Super Bowl champ.
Oh yeah.
He's elite.
I'm gonna say Reggie White. Yeah, I know, but just to talk about a guy who perfected his craft and was just a technician of the game, and played his heart out every game, and just I would say top 5 easily defensive players all time. Just an unbelievable football player and great guy. I didn't really get to watch him live too much, but just to go back and watch his tape is something extraordinary.
First, I'd like to start with Miami Dolphins era Adewale Ogunleye.
Just because of his name.
As a big Dolphin. No, that's not true. I don't know if you'll allow this to slide, but I would like to take DeMarcus Ware because nearly all of his career with the Cowboys happened before I was a Cowboys fan. And for that reason, I think it counts. But
I'll allow that.
for a lot of the same reasons as Will described with Reggie White. But coming out of a small school, he played at Troy, and there's another one, I guess, along the same lines would be Aaron Donald for me in terms of current guys. That guy is unbelievable at a position that I'm, used to play and have probably the most interest in.
Did you just compare yourself to Aaron Donald?
No, but I did play defensive line.
One-on-one,
You're
do you
comparing
think you
him
beat
to you. That's what it was.
I think you beat him.
Like, look, I'm not going to say that my six-pack is more defined than his,
Scoop and score? I don't know if he's got one.
but it is. He's a bum, all right?
Okay.
Aaron, if
Anyway.
you're listening, challenge.
Big fan.
Yeah, ain't no
Big
thing.
fan, by the way, Aaron.
Mr. Donald, I mean, no. But he also seems like, and granted, without being down on the field, you don't really know. But he seems like he's not real flashy. He just like shows up and is like without question the best in the world at what he does. So that's where I have a hard time with pro sports, and why I get kind of picky about it sometimes is that I hate like all the flash and all the show and the production of it all. I have even more admiration for somebody that just kind of punches the time clock and works.
Does what they're being paid to do.
Correct. So I'm into that. Aaron Donald is probably my number one, and I didn't think of that until after I said DeMarcus Ware, who's also great. But for me, genuinely, I think Aaron Donald's the best defensive lineman
He's
in the
scary
world.
good.
He's
Like,
a freak.
He's going to
Oh,
get
yeah.
triple teamed and still has a chance to make the play in the backfield.
He's unbelievable, and he's short. So short guys are cool sometimes.
Short guys rule.
That's right.
Yep.
When Tyler talked about us being big at this table, he did not mean tall,
No.
No.
but he meant in heart, and that's where we're big.
Mhm.
Will, did you have a second one you wanted to bounce out there?
Yeah, I got a little honorable mention one, which I might get a little crap for, because he is a little over the top sometimes, or was a little over the top,
jeez.
I guess. But talk about a guy who just devoted his life to the game, and is actually an unbelievable player on top of it, even though he might get a lot of crap for it. Is Tim Tebow, in Florida. Maybe not in the pros.
Are you
as much.
talking about his Mets career?
No. I'm talking about the Tim Tebow in Florida, national champion.
Yeah, he was good back in those
Yeah.
days.
He was really fun to watch.
Just like another one of those guys that just didn't translate to the league. so
Which
well.
is too bad because I think he would have been good to be in the league. Good
Like,
for the
good
league.
for the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Do you think that people bought into his spiel?
I don't think enough people did. That's why
Some people did, but
some people
yeah.
did, but I don't think he had enough.
Some
If he would have had more fans, I think they'd have put up with mediocre play on the field. If he was like a big, huge draw.
But if he had like the skill of Kyle Orton, then he would have been okay.
Yes, definitely.
Could we talk about Kyle Orton on the Broncos?
Kyle Orton on any team. That was my
He
favorite.
played for Purdue.
Yeah, he
They
did.
were pretty solid.
That's really when it started for me with Kyle Orton.
You got his Purdue jersey.
My oldest brother was he played quarterback in high school, and he went to a camp at Purdue or something. And somehow I was with my parents. I was little,
In age.
probably in size too at that point. It's hard to tell which, if it was an on year or an off year, because I would grow up and then I'd grow out and then I'd grow up and then I'd grow out. So it's hard to tell like where I was in the cycle. But we were like looking for a bathroom or something in the facility, and then ended up on an elevator with Joe Tiller, who is like the legendary Purdue football coach. And he's like just wearing a Hawaiian shirt, like totally just a chill guy. But I met him, and at that point I was like, bam, I'm a boiler up, baby. I like had a hat and stuff. I was in, and it just happened that Kyle Orton was the quarterback at the time. And then after that, he got drafted in like the 4th round by the Bears, who were my team. So like the Kyle Orton, like
Couldn't have got any better for
the
you.
legend in my head was unreal. And then when Travis got drafted, Kyle Orton was the Cowboys' backup at the time. I was like, this guy
It was meant to be.
really was. So I'm gonna
He,
try.
I think, was the best quarterback the Packers ever had.
But he was
No.
no.
He went like 9-1
sorry.
when Rex Grossman was hurt.
Yeah.
That Super Bowl year. The year Bears lost the Super Bowl.
so
Yeah,
they had a good year.
and they wouldn't have lost the
Well,
Super Bowl if they had anyone but Rex playing.
100%
Come on,
agree.
you can't not play Sexy Rex.
He's the worst. I think in episode one, or in one of the episodes,
We brought it up.
we talked about him being worse at
Yeah.
quarterback than Euchre, who doesn't have thumbs.
Yes.
Also, shout out to Euchre. On Sunday, he's going to turn 2 years old, so he's pretty much a grown-up dog.
Oh man,
I don't
That's
think he'll
14.
listen to this.
He's gonna be in the teens.
Oh, you know,
You're in trouble.
being a parent,
Teenagers are
being a
difficult.
parent of a teenager
You got
is
the terrible twos and the teens all at the same time.
all at the same time. That dog, rough.
Yeah, see what I did there?
Okay, Margarita
I
talking.
think that's a pun.
It was
So
fun.
Father's Day is coming up this weekend,
English professor Will Utesch.
so it's time for a little dad talk. First, we can acknowledge that there's one dad in the room, but I would hypothesize that he does not exhibit the most dad-like behaviors of this group of men sitting at this table. I think that Will acts like more of a dad than Jake does.
Are we talking?
I'm not
dad
sure how
or
to take
daddy?
that. Will acts like an old man?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
I have no problem taking that comment either.
Right. No, like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
bet you his
thing.
dag
now.
jokes aren't as good as mine.
Well,
Those are awesome.
I don't believe that.
I've never heard one good dad.
You
joke
should
out
have
of
seen how excited
They're
Will was
all
today
good.
about his 5-year-old hand-me-down pair of Crocs that he got. that are leather.
They're 5 years old, but they've never been worn, so they're pretty much new.
Yeah, but where's leather Crocs?
In sport mode.
Yeah, he's ready for off-road action.
Even dads don't wear Crocs.
That's the biggest lie I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
I do
Dads
not
wear
own a
Crocs.
pair of Crocs.
It's
'Cause
Crocs.
that's what I'm saying. You don't
and
act like
New
a dad.
Balance.
All my dad friends, my brothers, my dad, none of us own Crocs.
What about New Balance shoes?
And
I don't own any. However,
I would accept New Balance or Nike Air Monarchs
Yeah, Air Monarchs are up there. Any color.
I don't have any of those.
that are white with
I
the
have
blue.
like 4 pair of New Balance because they are so comfortable.
I have one pair of
They're
New Balance,
so
but
nerd.
they're turf shoes, and so I coach baseball with them.
Durf, man.
you also have to wear them with mid-white socks that have no
No.
brand. No brand.
Yeah,
No.
you can't have brand.
It's like mid-sized tube socks.
They say Hanes maybe, or they're just the gold toe ones
Yep,
with the
yep.
yellow toe. Those are good. Jorts are nice. I don't own jorts, but I'm thinking this may be the summer for that.
I do not own jorts
We should
either.
get some podcast jorts.
In addition to our sweatpant shorts,
Yeah,
those are
We'll have,
still
like,
coming too.
the
Custom.
formal jorts.
Yeah, for when we're dressing up. When we start taking the show on the road.
Yeah, and then our laid back.
And when we start to
sweatpants
win
shorts.
all the awards we're gonna win, the jorts will be our classy outfit
Yep, I think
Yeah.
for the award
Yes.
shows.
with our white and blue New Balances.
We could wear a denim button-down shirt as well.
That says "What the heck" on the breast
The
pocket.
Canadian tuxedo, and we'll have the logo on the back.
Yeah,
How do you feel about Canadian tuxedos?
I'm a fan, honestly.
All right, so I knew that it existed, and I was like, okay, so that's a thing. One time, my family, like the whole Frederick family, not just the Daryl Frederick family, took family portraits in all denim.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know where those pictures are, but I gotta find one.
Yeah, we need one of
Yeah.
those.
So jeans and a button-down, like jean shirt, jacket. But each of the like family groups, the Daryl Fredericks and the Doug Fredericks, and each family had different color turtlenecks underneath.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, that's a serious family photo.
Wow. Denny must be so proud.
Somebody thought that was a good plan.
Is that
But anyway,
Carol's idea or Denny's
I
idea?
think that Canadian tuxedos died around that time, at least in my brain. But then I met the lovely and talented Katie Cook.
She's
and I-
bringing them back.
No. But I started traveling to Savannah, Illinois, home of Poopies, if any of you happen to be motorcycle people, which I think approximately 0 of you that listen to this are. But I got down there, and everybody wears them.
so we need to move there.
All of the men. And at
Taking
first,
this show on the road to Savannah, Illinois, everybody.
that'd probably be fun. But like her dad wore one once, and I explained to him that he was wearing a Canadian tuxedo. And then I was like, all right, maybe, maybe Mark's just not up on style. But then
Or maybe he's a trendsetter.
I don't know who started the trend down there, but then somebody walks in the door, bam, Canadian tuxedo. Oh, you look across the street, somebody's mowing the lawn, bam, Canadian tuxedo. Everybody's wearing denim. It's wild.
I gotta
I'm
go
going to
down there.
Savannah. Yep.
There's
Road trip, get some beef jerky, Gatorade.
We can run this podcast anywhere, so we'll do that. We'll all wear denim so we can blend in. It'll be like camouflage.
Yep. They won't even know. We don't
Savannah
belong.
camo, we'll call it.
Savannah camo. Yep. No more Canadian tuxedo. It's Savannah camo. Like it.
So that's kind of a dadism that I don't do, but I think I'm gonna look into. But is there anything else that you do that, like, maybe you take a step back and you're like, oh my God, I am my father?
I got one thing in particular. I just remember when I was growing up, every time I would leave a light on in the house, walking through a hall, and I'm probably going to be walking right back through the hall in about 2 minutes and the light's on. It's, hey, turn that lights off. You're not paying the electric bill. So now in my own apartment, I just find myself always turning the lights off whenever I absolutely don't need them.
My dad's line was always, what, are we trying to put the electric company's kids through college? As if the funds were being funneled directly to Electricity University. It's very prestigious. My thing that I found since being a homeowner is like mowing the lawn. And it got bad a few times during pier season when I wasn't home till dark. But like it drove me insane. I was like, I gotta mow. And that's like always my dad's like zen moment. Is that he's like, oh, finally. You get to go ride around on the tractor for 3 hours. So that's kind of been my thing, is that I found myself being real anal about the lawn. And
You know what's funny is, I think it was yesterday or today, I thought, because I live in an apartment, I haven't mowed a lawn probably 5 years now. And I thought,
I can arrange
I
that.
miss mowing a lawn. Like, I did
210.
it all the time
Swing by anytime.
at my parents'. Even when I'd come back from college, I'd be the one doing it.
What's
I
that,
mowed for the lady
Jake
across
not
the
being a
street.
dad again?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I mow the lawn so my kids don't get lost. I could really just not into my lawn.
Carter's got to be close to being able
Yeah,
to
they're
do it.
almost tall enough now where I don't care if they can get lost in the lawn. It's no big
I
deal.
meant Carter's
Oh.
lawn. He could mow the lawn.
That too. He's getting there. Yeah, last fall, right before winter, and the
I
last
saw
couple
a Facebook
balls.
photo of him on the tractor.
Yeah, he was finally heavy
But
enough.
I was going to say,
put
the
the
problem
trigger
was
on it.
he weighed 35 pounds. So
When we first got the rider, he got on it and wouldn't start because he didn't have enough weight on the seat.
he had to put a cinder block on his lap.
Actually, I had disconnected it, and I thought that's probably not good because then if he gets off it doesn't shut off, safety feature. So, but he is heavy enough now. So now that school's all out, we got to get him back on training.
I'd
Training
like to,
101.
I'd like to give Carter a shout out for being heavy enough for the lawnmower.
He'll appreciate that.
Big ups to you, buddy. I don't think I ever had that problem.
No.
I think like second grade me was like, throw him on there. Oh, your boat's floating away? Here, chuck him overboard.
You didn't float?
No, I sink. We talked about that today. Also during our pre-recording session relaxation. Jake was busy being a grown-up and doing work stuff. So
Being
the rest,
a dad?
So the rest of us went for a swim.
Also, being dads.
We got some pizza, got a little ice cream. Came home, started making margaritas. Just getting ready for Jake to show up when he's done being an adult.
It wasn't a necessarily active swim. We all kind of just
Wait,
grabbed
dude.
6 pool noodles each and just
Just
sat
laid.
there for about 4 hours.
Drinking Natter Days. So that was the thing. How do you feel about cooking of any form? Food preparation. Do you participate?
I participate in breakfast, and I will say this was a dad thing.
That I even had it in
My
notes.
dad, and we always it's kind of a running joke in my house with my kids. For us as a kid, it was a treat when Dad made breakfast and his French toast, and he fried up bacon on pan fried bacon, and it was like
Sorry, are you saying Pam?
Pam? Yes, no
Pam
Pam.
or Pam?
But it was, we knew, like, because it didn't happen every weekend, but when you did, it was like, oh, this is great. So I'm a big French toast maker, and, like, sometimes we have, breakfast for dinner, especially when mom's out of town and dad's got the dinner duties on his own.
He whips up his one meal.
But,
Let me flip through the cookbook, and it's only one page long.
No, it's great. The kids love it. And then the running joke is, that my French toast is better than Grandpa's. And, of course, Carter will look at me and go, every single time, without fail, no, Dad, Grandpa's French toast is way better than yours. And then I say, fine, make your own next time. Then he goes, no, just kidding. Yours is better. Until the next time, and then Grandpa's is better again. So I get that from my dad, and it's kind of cool to pass it on down to my kids. That and grilling. Grilling.
Those are literally the two things that I was like, yes, breakfast.
Breakfast and grilling.
Isn't that all dads can take care of?
That's it.
Not because they don't know, but I think they're just not allowed to do anything else.
Well, I can make a mean mac and cheese with a hot dog cut up in it.
So you went to college then.
And ramen. Does that count for anything?
I've had ramen one time in my entire life, and it was in like 5th grade at somebody's house.
You didn't have it in college?
Nope.
Wow.
I was living
Money
high,
bags.
living high on the hog.
Must be.
Whew.
You must have made a lot of macaroni, cheese, and hot dogs.
Big time.
I
And
couldn't
like
afford macaroni and cheese and hot dogs.
Kraft Deluxe, man. I'm none of that. I don't know.
Wow.
I get it. Shells and cheese. If I was feeling real exotic, I'd get into the Velveeta.
I had to get the off-brand.
I'm such
Great value.
I am such a name brand snob. It's the worst.
Especially with macaroni. It's hard to not
You
get.
can't. There's like a few things that you can't buy off brand.
I'm not that picky.
Macaroni is one of them.
We got a grill. Katie will do some grilling around here, like for dinner. We've got options. We've got the grill, and she can do that and cook up some steaks or some hot dogs and hamburgers or whatever. But then I also have a Traeger, which I totally am in love with, and I can like do such a wide variety of things on that. But that's kind of my area. And that was the time recently where I felt the most like a dad. Was I got home from work one day and fired up the Traeger, so I had it out in the driveway, and I was like, well, it's preheating and whatever. So then I pulled out a lawn chair, set it up right next to the grill. Then I was like, well, if I'm gonna sit out here, then I went and grabbed a cooler and had a couple of beers, and then I'm just enjoying my time. Realized how fast everyone drives past my house and just started hollering at cars that couldn't hear me. And at that point, I was like, that's it. I've made it. I am a dad. So that's kind of my biggest two dadisms, I think, are hollering at little kids that don't care about my opinion when they drive past, and lawn care, I guess. I guess my final question along those lines to wrap it up are, did you do anything, like what is your number one like form of recreation that you did or have done with your dads?
For me, it's it's definitely hunting. Golf is probably a second. Hunting we all did since we were of age, and now we're taking our kids going, and we still go up up north, where my parents are from, and we hunt up there, and it's a big family deal, and now we got all the grandkids involved in it too, but we still go up with grandpa's there, and which would be my dad now, and we do the bow hunting, we've done turkey hunting, goose hunting, kind of the whole thing. So number one. Number two is probably golf, and I think as we got into more adults, the golf became bigger. Because for Father's Day, for the longest time now, as our kids got older and we have baseball and tournaments and things going on, it's been a little harder the last couple of years. But for quite a while, we have a perfect foursome. I have two brothers and my dad and myself, and we'd go out on Father's Day every year and play around the golf. And that was kind of like we'd split the costs for my dad, and that was our Father's Day deal. So
how do you define a perfect foursome?
Glenn Reese, Matt Reese, Luke Reese, Jake Reese.
Oh, so if it was anyone else, it would be not perfect.
Correct.
Like if it was your wife was involved, then it becomes not perfect.
She's not a golfer, so off the hook.
But if she were,
she's not. So we're talking like present
What about
day.
Carter?
He doesn't golf either.
What about the group of us sitting at this table?
I've seen you
That's true,
golf,
there are
and
four.
no.
You've never seen me golf.
You've never
I-
seen
so-
me golf either.
So the or me. So
I've
the
heard
so
that you don't golf
So
so
the
good.
quality of play is what determines a perfect game.
And your last name. If it's not Reese, it's not perfect.
What about your mother?
She's not a golfer either. Bam. Just nobody in our family's golf except the four of us.
I'm not really sure that I buy the perfect foursome
Yeah, I
thing.
don't know.
It feels like if I were assembling a perfect foursome, it would be like Tiger, Phil,
Jake,
Brooks
Reese.
Koepka's got to be in there. He's got massive
Arnold.
arms.
and
for a golfer.
also Michael Jordan from Space Jam.
Correct. Also, Bill Murray from Space Jam.
Bill Murray from Caddyshack.
No, Space Jam Bill Murray.
Way better. So, perfect foursomes. Will, you ever been involved in a foursome?
Different types of foursomes, I guess you could say.
No, do tell, please.
No, I don't think we have time for that.
We certainly do not.
Well, now that Jake said that, I think we might.
What do you and Mr. Craig like to do?
I would say, for the most part in my life,
Just holler at each other?
Bicker.
maybe not as much anymore now that I'm grown, but I guess that would kind of go hand in hand with just sports in general. I think from the time I was born till through 8th grade, he coached me in football, baseball, and wrestling. And then,
He was the most incredible newborn football player I've ever seen.
and then through high school, wrestling still. So I guess in terms of time spent doing stuff together is probably sports. Just always been around and pretty much coached me in anything. Just kind of like Mr. Jake over here.
I'm like a second dad to
Jake
Will.
was
I
easily-
think that's what he was
That's
getting
the-
at.
Jake was easily the third best youth wrestling coach I had.
Hey, I'll take it. Top 3, baby.
I think that I only had 2, if I remember correctly. Sorry, we had to pour another round of margaritas. Tyler.
Well, looking at your list, I would say me and my dad have done all 4.
Oh, you mean the outline? You
Yeah,
call
in
this
your
an outline?
This is an outline. But I guess the thing we probably have done the most, I would say, is actually fishing, even though we haven't gone much recently. He's got his grandpa's old boat, so we would take that out to all different lakes. When I was growing up, we hunt every year. We've done some turkey hunting. We've done some duck and goose hunting.
Would
in
you
the
call it a
past.
wild goose chase?
You don't
No, we're not
chase them,
chasing the geese. They come to us.
and then you shoot
Yeah.
them.
So I guess lately it's more of the hunting. But we golf every once in a while, once or twice a year usually. We've done some camping though. My mom was never a big camper, so if we went, it was just me and my dad and my sister. But yeah, I think hunting's probably the number one on that list right now. Deer hunting every weekend, or not every weekend, though I wish it could be. Every opening weekend, with me, my dad, my grandpa, some of my cousins, we all go now. So I think that's probably what we spent, even though we're really nowhere near each other in the woods. That's what we spend most of the time doing.
Hunting is something that I didn't really become super interested in until college, because nobody in my family does it. Like my dad doesn't hunt, and my brothers. So I'm still trying to learn, but it's definitely something that I hope someday when I'm a father that I can pass on. But I'm going to need to gain a substantial amount of knowledge between now and then.
The invite is still open to come hunting with me.
Well, I'm currently working on trying to convince my future father-in-law that I'm a tolerable human. So maybe he could sit with me for a few hours.
In Savannah?
In Savannah, we can wear Savannah
You can
camo
wear
and blend
Savannah
right in.
camo. Oh man, I need to hunt down there.
It
That
is-
just sounds so comfortable.
We're sweaty and chafy.
Well, not in November.
Might be. But so that's something that I am looking forward to once I'm a father. But as far as stuff that I did with my dad,
You're going to take your 3 daughters out hunting?
I don't know what I would do. Lord help me.
You're gonna be like last man standing.
I know that poor guy.
You'll at least have one, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eve. She's the best on the show.
She's also the only one that stayed on the show, as we talked about before. We used to go fishing some when I was little. We had actually for a while my dad had 2 fishing boats. One was like an old rowboat that he traded somebody, I don't know, a boat lift or something for.
Not a
2
girl
loaves
or
of bread and a chicken.
And then at one point he actually like had a fishing boat that he traded like a boat lift for.
Your other brother that nobody speaks of anymore.
Yes, Jerry. We traded him for a polar craft. We had that. I remember he and I took that out once. We were going to spend the day fishing on Delavan and got to the launch and couldn't get the engine to start. So we pulled it back out of the water, and that was the end of that day. So we've done a small amount of fishing.
Such a fond memory.
But I remember it. We went to that that mobile in the inlet over there, got some snacks, all for naught. But mostly camping is the biggest memory with my family. We talked about the story where my brothers somehow pushed me out of the pop-up when I was little. I've also got lots of camping stories with a good friend of mine, Garrett Jeters, who someday we'll have to have him on the show. He's another one that's the stuff of legends. But we did a lot of camping, and that's kind of still our thing now. And I expect that as he kind of slowly steps out of the workforce and into retirement, they'll probably camp some more. And one of my brothers has a camper. Katie and I are looking at getting a camper, so I expect that to kind of continue to be a family thing. So that's kind of all I got for dad talk. And that means, and this is the part I've been dreading. I've been dreading it for 40 minutes now.
Best part of the podcast. So excited.
Jake's mystery game. Jake, take it away.
Let me just start with, we've referenced many. We're sports guys here. Tyler talked about that, and it was great that he had that perfect segue for my mystery game this evening. But I want to take a poll before we get into the 16-man bracket that I've created. Top of your head, don't think. Favorite sports movie ever. Go. Just shoot it. No thinking.
Remember
shoot
the
it
Titans.
Miracle.
Caddyshack.
All right, we got 3. So the
Does
sports
Caddyshack
game
count?
happens
It's
to
also
be
sport, right?
greatest sports movies of all
I'm
time.
changing mine already.
I'm back
Space
in.
Jam.
Yours is very generic.
Gridiron Gang.
Right off the top.
No, Space Jam.
So bear with me, right?
Basketball and golf.
Bear with me
Yep.
And
because
baseball.
you may not agree with my seeds, but I did seed it.
Yeah, and
all the way
you
through 16.
Please believe that I'm going to just ride you on the seedings after what happened in the concession bracket.
This is about the 5th bracket that I got because I moved people around and
I'm impressed by that,
I reached out and asked people what they thought.
but I'm not
and
impressed enough to not ride you.
I knew that you would ride me because I, gave you just a tiny bit of grief over the concession stand.
A little flack, if you will.
So, without further ado,
I do.
we're going to go ahead and get started here. Single elimination, mind you.
Oh, they're toast.
The 1 seed, starting on the bat with the 16 seed, we have Remember the Titans at number 1,
Tough.
coming in against Happy Gilmore, 16.
Ooh.
Oh. Man.
That's a tough 116 lineup, guys. I'm not going to lie to you.
But
Will's shaking his head no.
Happy Gilmore just has. I mean, it's a great movie, but it just doesn't mount up to Remember the Titans at all. I mean, Remember the Titans moves
I would
on.
agree.
Yeah.
I like the penguin suit and the beer and the fantasy and the grandma with the... But...
You're
No, that's Billy
You're mixing
Madison.
movies
Madison.
up.
That's
Totally
Madison.
mixing. That's
Oh,
yeah.
There's a grandma. She's got the kiss mask.
Oh, yeah. She's got the...
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
but
is
not
a
the
grandma.
penguin suit.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
Billy
that's-
Madison.
No, the penguin
Yeah,
suit's
that
Billy
was-
Madison. The grandma's in the nursing home, and they take the
Yeah,
house.
and
they
Ben
gotta
Stiller's
check.
the dick.
But
He's such a dick.
But the social experiment behind
Shooter
Remember the
McGavin.
Titans, just kind of gives you that little heartwarming feeling. I just don't know how,
Plus-
it's tough to compete.
Happy Gilmore, it's a sports movie, but it's
Tap
more.
it in.
I don't know. It's definitely a comedy. So
Yeah,
we don't
it's comical
think about
value.
It as
Get
much
it.
Of
Yeah.
a sports movie. I'm going to Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
That's
I already forgot them.
done. It's in.
That's kind of a bullshit seed for number 16.
I think Happy Gilmore, though, double elimination could come back.
Typically, your 1 seed, 16. It's it's competitive, but usually the 1 seed kind of runs away with it. So we'll move on down the bracket. This one's going to be a tough one. I'm not going to lie. These two kind of moved around a little bit, settled into their spots. Coming in at the 8 seed, we have the Sandlot taking on the 9 seed, Bad News Bears. Let's hear it.
Very similar
Which
movies.
new or old Bad News Bears? Aren't there 2?
Yeah, there's a new one.
You got to go original. That was the best.
Oh, I'm going Sandlot all the way. No contest for me.
Gentlemen, that's 1 vote.
Yeah, I'm Sandlot all the way as well.
I would probably go Sandlot as well. I don't think I ever saw the original Bad News Bears.
And I would tend to agree with you guys on Sandlot. Just kind of makes you think back when you were a kid and it's a feel-good movie playing
I was never a
baseball
kid.
with
I was
your
always a
buddies.
man.
Well,
I just want some
in size
PF
only.
Flyers. Give me some PF Flyers. If I'm not wearing New Balance, I'm wearing PF Flyers.
If you wear New Balance around me, I'm going to put you in a garbage can.
Alrighty.
Well, you're going to do that a lot. All my shoes are New Balance.
I'm buying
Moving
you new
on.
shoes.
No, you're not.
If any of you want to sponsor the next episode, get Tyler some different shoes.
Size
So
10,
he's not
10
a
and a
dad.
half.
Here we go.
10 and a half. That was like
Coming in at the
kindergarten.
4 seed, Hoosiers. At the 13 seed, a classic, Foxcatcher. For those of you podcast listeners that don't know about Foxcatcher, about the great Dave Schultz and John DuPont, true story. John DuPont murdered Dave Schultz. He was one of the all-time great U.S. wrestlers in our country's history. Great movie.
I think
Steve Carell, Channing Tatum.
I'll go first. I was always a big fan of the DuPont car with Jeff Gordon. So I think I'm going to vote for Fox and the Hound.
I do love Hoosiers, but I can't go against Foxcatcher. I'm going Foxcatcher with the upset.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all kind of a little biased in here being wrestling guys. but
Time out. Time out.
You're more biased towards wrestling than
Yeah.
basketball.
I am
you know.
not. No, because I was a Sharon Hawk basketball
You
guy.
were a state runner-up. That puts you a wrestling guy.
I just happened to be there.
Period.
I am not a wrestling
Coach
guy.
Matt Reese would be really upset with you right now.
Well, maybe if Coach Matt Reese
I
were
will
my
say,
8th grade coach,
the
I wouldn't have been a
superior Matt
runner-up.
Reese, he's got some feedback on this bracket, so he would be extremely proud of you knowing that you wanted Foxcatcher to move on.
No, I voted for Fox and the Hound.
Well, that's not here,
That's
so
the next
you're
bracket.
out.
Disney movies, classic Disney movies.
I'm onto that as well.
I also would recommend the documentary on Foxcatcher on Netflix.
That was a good one, too. Yeah.
What?
So that's a
There's
big
there's
upset.
a documentary?
Yeah.
I need to find it.
It's a big upset. 13-4, first round, guys.
My sister-in-law went to the University of Indiana. She says,
right. Captain Right Field. Thank you
why-
very much.
I don't understand why that's, that's about Hoosiers and stuff. But, that's
I guess.
my train of thought.
Moving
you
on.
guess? It's the second best university in Indiana behind Purdue. Boiler up.
Number 5, The Natural. Taking on number 12. This is going to be another, that 12-5 matchup's tough. Coming in at number 12, Blindside.
I prefer The Blind Side as a movie. Michael Orr
Does not prefer
does
it.
not prefer it at all.
That's in my notes. Not entirely accurate. However, it's
but
cinematic. They got to spice
it
it
gets many extra votes for Sandra Bullock and also for Tim
up. Oh,
McGraw.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandy. But also old Tim. It's his second best role behind Friday Night Lights
Oh yeah.
when he throws the
Oh,
ring out into the
man,
ditch.
that better be on
For the
this.
record, next time you guys take a look at My Lovely Bride, many of people say she looks like Sandra Bullock.
Just wondering, are you inviting us to check your wife out? 'Cause that feels inappropriate.
No, you could see her in the street when you're walking by. You could see her when you're going to the gas
She
station.
just gives me the bird.
Well,
Why-
look close when she does. She looks like Sandra Bullock giving you the bird.
Why is she gonna be walking down the street?
Yeah.
She likes to go for walks,
We have
for
sidewalks in this town.
exercise.
Not
Sometimes
everywhere.
we don't. My
Most-
old street didn't
most
have
places.
sidewalk.
I'm going
Sorry,
Blindside.
most places.
That's 2. Will?
Yeah, Blindside 90% because it's Sandra Bullock, 10% because of the movie.
That's fact.
That's 2 big upsets in a row, guys.
Hold on, before what's The Natural even about again? I know I've seen it.
The Natural's a baseball movie.
Yeah.
It's
You know, the one with
It's
the
about-
guy.
personal goals. So the guy, Robert Redford, he's an upcoming
Oh,
baseball
okay.
player. He gets
Yep.
shot,
Got it.
and then he comes back and
Well,
makes it in baseball.
Much like Derek Jeter in The Other Guys.
Yes. Also,
Yes,
shot.
very
Come
similar.
back.
Moving on. Coming into number 2, Rocky. And I put parentheses around Rocky and just said all. Because you know what?
Just the 5
Same
Rockies. Or
kinda-
we also talking Creed?
Nope. Just the Rockies.
Just
You know, the
Rocky
same.
1
They
through
all have
5.
the same generic.
Adrian.
You know, what they're
Storyline.
trying to accomplish. Yeah,
Always
yeah.
beating the meat, you know what I'm saying?
Taking on the 15 seed, Major League.
Oh,
Another tough draw.
Tough.
that is tough.
Could,
Oh.
could we just all agree quick before we do the vote that the best Rocky is Ivan Drago?
Yeah.
If he dies, he dies.
Best one.
Followed by Clubber Lang.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Rocky.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Rocky as well. Big, we're all, I think, big on, around this table, we're big on pet stores and beating the meat.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you know, it's really the whole premise of the rags to riches. You know, get up and work hard every day, achieve your goals. Like that's really, you know, Rocky kind of brings it out in all of us. I think.
It makes me want to not run
Plus-
upstairs because walking up it makes me tired.
Plus, you got the wood floors, Adrian.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Sorry. There also might not be a better series of movies, or just movies in general, that have as good of training montages as
Yeah.
Rocky has.
Oh, yeah, Star Wars.
Six.
I didn't see Yoda on his back.
No. Lifting like
Yeah,
hay
but
wagons
Yoda
in
wasn't
Siberia.
yelling like
Are you
that.
kidding me?
Lifting rocks with your brain? Are you,
Different
what?
kind of workout.
Come on.
I'll take Star Wars.
2 different galaxies.
The 7 seed, Caddyshack, taking on the 10 seed, 8 Men Out. You guys know what 8 Men Out is?
I'm just wondering,
I
did
do
you make
not.
that up right
Not a
now?
clue.
No.
Can we substitute something else off your list?
8 Men Out's a classic. You guys are a little young, but
I can't even think of
that
the
was
sport
about
that
the-
involves 8 men.
the White Sox scandal.
Bobsledding?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you
Oh.
put Cool Runnings on there instead?
Yeah, I'll take Cool Runnings.
That's going to be number 1.
I'm really disappointed in you guys. Hey, put that on your watch list. 8 Men Out. Those of you out in podcast world, I'd be willing to bet a good 80% of you know what 8 Men Out is.
Sanka, you dead man. Yeah, man.
Caddyshack.
It's the most important historical movie about baseball. It changed the way they governed the sport of baseball. Look it up, watch it, learn about it.
That was a
gentlemen.
league of their own. I'll
No.
take Caddyshack.
Are we substituting Cool Runnings or no?
No.
No, because Cool Runnings wins
Same.
the whole
No.
bracket.
I guess I'll
That,
have
Cool
you know,
Runnings gets a play in, though.
I'm not a big Caddyshack guy, but at this moment, I'd have to go Caddyshack.
I like the dancing Gopher the
Gopher,
most.
yeah.
They always play that at Gopher games.
Tyler, you're gonna go with Caddyshack as well, since you've
Yeah,
never
'cause he has
seen
a
8 Men
brain.
I've
Out.
never seen 8 Men Out, so it's hard.
And
to-
eight-
Put it on your list, guys.
Although
I'll give it a
You
watch.
will enjoy it. I promise.
I have seen 8 Below, and
It's got to be similar.
All right, moving on. Coming in at the 3 seed, everybody's favorite Rudy,
Ugh.
taking on 14 seed, A League of Their Own.
there's no crying in baseball.
Rudy's another one of those never give up movies. You know, just
sounds like he'd have been really
life
annoying to be on his
lessons.
team.
I always have a real tough time with Rudy because it's not a bad movie, but I get annoyed by how many people are like, "Oh, it's my favorite sports movie."
It's not.
it's not my favorite. However, as coaches, and all of us here are coaches, we've all had that one kid that you can say, hey, they've had success, and it just doesn't come with wins or losses or like whatever they did on the field. You can just say, hey, this kid stuck it out for 4 years in whatever sport, and you watched him grow, and that's kind of what Rudy's about.
Well, if you're not first, you're last. So I'll take Brian's song.
That's- I was gonna ask.
Hey,
if
I
was
didn't
also
make-
on here, actually.
I didn't
But
make your bracket a mockery. I'd appreciate some
Yes,
respect
you
of my
did.
bracket.
I am actually gonna probably go with A League of Their Own because I think Tom Hanks killed it in that movie.
He did. I think I'll take Rudy. Regretfully, because it's not Brian's song.
Will, our guest, is the deciding vote.
I am going with A League of Their Own, and that is because I've had somebody, a good source, tell me that Rudy now in life kind of used that movie as a platform and kind of just turned into a huge dick. So I really have not a good
I
view
thought it was
on
going
that
to be
movie
because you
anymore.
have a crush on Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
also,
the most active she's been in a Coons Age.
when Rosie O'Donnell is just crushing home runs out of a gym, like through windows and stuff.
Yeah, man.
How
That
can you?
wasn't
How,
Rosie's
That wasn't
character.
Rosie.
Yeah,
that was
wasn't
no,
it?
it wasn't. Is the other one?
oh,
that
it
was
was that other one.
quiet
I was
one.
right.
That
Well,
was
I'm
when-
attracted to her as well.
That was when she was on The View.
So, little known fact: there's a woman who was a great aunt of mine, since has passed away. God bless her. Ruth Zillmer,
Bader Ginsburg.
otherwise maiden name Ruth Reese, played in A League of Their Own for the Rockford Peaches. Anytime you guys want to stop by my office, I got her baseball card in my office, autographed. Boom.
I'm in.
Big League of Their Own fan
I'll
right
be
here.
there
She
some other
flew
time.
out to Hollywood for the premiere. Like, it was a big deal.
We shouldn't stop by your office.
Was
'cause
she
you're supposed to be
portrayed
working.
like in the movie, or what did she?
Yeah, she was Rosie
no,
O'Donnell.
she wasn't. She wasn't portrayed in the movie. However, if you go to the Baseball Hall of Fame, her name is in the Baseball Hall of Fame under the League of Their Own. So
That's awesome.
it's pretty cool. So moving on, the 6th seed, Miracle, taking on the 11 seed, Field of Dreams.
Miracle's my all-time favorite. So, and just a side note, that's our last matchup of the first round.
That is correct.
Friday Night Lights is not on the list.
It was
This is
honorable
horseshit.
mention.
We took 8 Below over Friday Night Lights.
Honorable mention. Sorry.
Can we do an additional
No.
round
No.
that features Cool Runnings and Friday Night Lights?
Could we just make a joint decision to
No.
put Friday Night Lights in the second
I'm running
round?
this game. No.
This one's hard. I think I gotta go Miracle, just because of what it like.
Yeah, it's pretty
what
tough
it
to
actually
take that.
was. I love Field of Dreams. Though.
Field of Dreams is a tearjerker, but I think Miracle, based on the historical facts behind it, just is too intense, too much to overcome.
You ever heard
Miracle moving on.
You ever what? Oh, by a score of 1 vote to 0.
Will and Tyler,
both
that's
voted
2. Your vote doesn't matter.
That's Sharon math for
You
it.
ever hear Sharon kicks out valedictorian after valedictorian? I'm just not one of them. Did you ever hear Ron Burgundy reading? Frankly, like the whole time, I forgot what the matchup was, and I wasn't paying attention to the voting because I was so upset by Friday Night Lights not making
Yeah,
the list.
that is the craziest thing.
My brain was melting.
8 Below over Friday Night Lights.
Although they do have that leopard seal that pops out of the whale for a good
Moving
jump
around.
scare.
We're going on to the second round, ladies and gentlemen of podcast world, even though I get no respect in here.
You don't deserve respect without Friday Night Lights.
The 1 seed, Remember the Titans, taking on the 8 seed, Sandlot.
Remember the Titans for the soundtrack.
That's a phenomenal
Oh,
soundtrack.
man.
I love it.
I have it.
even
I
think
have
of
it
it
on
like
compact
that. Yes.
disc.
Remember the Titans for Hayden Panettiere.
She like
She's like 7.
Not at the end of the movie.
Yes, that's not even
Oh,
her at
the-
the end of the movie. At the funeral, it's
She
not
didn't-
even her.
She didn't grow up during the movie, Will. The
waited-
filming didn't take 14 years.
This is an Avatar.
Oh, man.
Well, they already so. Remember the Titans is moving on, but I think I'd pick Sandlot actually.
shut up.
Oh, that's
If
that's
I'm gonna
tough.
pick between the two, I'm gonna throw Sandlot on.
It's not even a football.
All right. Moving on.
It's sports movie. It's not football movie.
This is a tough one. 2 big upsets. They're rolling into the second round with a lot of momentum.
8 Below and Fox and the Hound.
At number 13, we have Foxcatcher taking on number 12, Blindside.
It's Blindside for me because Steve Carell creeps me out in serious roles.
I'm once again a little
Also
biased,
Sandy.
but Foxcatcher because I think Blindside's a little Hollywooded up, to be honest.
So does Michael Orr.
Yeah,
He
I'm
would
going-
agree with you.
I'm
yeah,
going
but
Foxcatcher.
Sandy's okay with it.
Foxcatcher with another upset.
I love Sandra Bullock, but
Honestly,
we're talking sports movies, not Sandra Bullock movies.
but it's really
It's true.
kind of it's kind of
What's the Sandra Bullock movie where she's floating through space?
I don't know. They released like 12
I think
space
it's Gravity.
movies
It's
at the
just
same
called,
time.
it's just called Gravity, and she's
Yeah,
just
I
like
think it's
orbiting
Gravity.
Earth, and that's it.
The next matchup's going to be really tough for Collin. We have the 2 seed,
Ryan
Rocky,
song.
taking on the 7 seed,
Cool Runnings.
Caddyshack.
It's probably Caddyshack for me. If they're both on TV at the same time, honestly, I'm probably watching Caddyshack because it's a little lighter and easier to digest, and I don't have to feel like I need to sit down and watch 7 movies.
You don't need to watch 7. You,
You
could
do.
just watch
No,
1.
you have
There's
to.
only 5.
I know, plus the Creed movies. I
No,
feel like if
they're-
I'm watching
Oh, I
them,
guess you could watch Balboa.
We're not
Yeah,
talking about
6.
those. We're just talking about like the first
First 5.
4, really.
You're telling me you don't want to yell Adrian with them all the time?
I can just do that at home by myself. That's another line.
I'm going Rocky.
Yeah, Will didn't like Caddyshack.
Will's
Yeah,
the
I'm not.
deciding
I'm not a
factor.
Caddyshack guy, so I'm going Rocky.
I don't know how you're not. I mean, I'm still
Rocky
going
on to
Rocky,
the semis.
Caddyshack.
And then we have the 14 seed, A League of Their Own, taking on the 6 seed, Miracle.
I don't mind Charlize Theron, but it's Miracle for me because I didn't even get to finish after the Sharon math insults. But Ron Burgundy once was reading like famous sports calls with Dan Patrick, and for that alone, I think he really put the proper emotion into it when he said, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes.
Will, I think that's a miracle for you.
Yeah, because of Michael Ruzioni.
Miracle moving to the semis.
Yep. I'll just keep my vote secret.
Yeah, shut up over there.
All right, semifinal number 1. The 1 seed coming in strong, dominating fashion. Remember the Titans taking on the 13 seed, Foxcatcher.
It really. There was a while there after Chief got hurt where I thought that Copper was going to really kill Todd. But Sunshine takes the win for me. It's Remember the Titans.
Yeah. I think this is the end of the road for the Foxcatcher train for me. It's got to be Remember the Titans because the soundtrack makes it. I think it takes it to that next level.
And besides, how can the grandma pretend she loves Todd when she just leaves him at the nature preserve where somehow hunting's allowed for all species
That's
at any
enough.
time of year?
I did not bring in other foods to your concession stand bracket all the way
I feel
through.
like we did discuss things.
No.
I think I don't know.
Remember the Titans just has a better overall, legacy-wise, I guess.
Yep. I think so. Foxcatcher had a great run, though. 2 big upsets. Put them into the semis unexpectedly. The other semifinal. Other comment, Will?
No, I just coughed.
The other semifinal match. This one's going to be a tough one. The 2 seed, Rocky, taking on the 6 seed, Miracle. Go.
I'm going with Miracle. I think it is the greatest sports movie ever made based off the story. Along with great acting. Kurt Russell is unbelievable in it. Amazing pre-Russia, pre-Soviet game speech. Just overall, greatest sports movie. So I'm going Miracle.
And while Miracle Whip rocks, I'll take Rocky.
Nice play on words. I
Wow,
like
thank
it.
you.
Tyler, what the heck is your vote?
I think I got to go Miracle.
Big upset for Miracle.
I mean, it's because it's the actual, the Hollywooded up actual story of what happened. It's got to be Miracle.
That brings us to our final competition of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have the 1 seed who has rolled through the tournament unanimously at every round. Remember the Titans. Taking on Will's all-time greatest ever movie made, the 6 seed, Miracle.
I just said sports movie, not all time.
I was just giving it a little more hype.
Doesn't beat Forrest Gump.
Or Braveheart.
You had
Or
that,
Shawshank
ready to
Redemption.
go.
But that's
Or Shrek.
neither here nor there.
3.
Shrek. There we go.
Well, we know where Will's vote stands, so I guess I need to hear from the other two gentlemen.
Has there been a playback for the Secret 8?
What?
Tyler, would you like to weigh in on this?
I think I got to stick with Remember the Titans.
So now your sharing math doesn't apply because it's 1-1. Your vote is the deciding vote.
Na 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 na, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye miracle. Remember the Titans for the win.
You heard it, podcast world. Greatest sports movie of all time.
In this bracket that excluded the other greatest sports movie of all time, Friday Night Lights.
Wait, you're telling me
Remember
you
the
pick Friday
Titans.
Night Lights over Remember the Titans?
Every day.
Absolutely not.
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
No.
I'd put it up there, but
It's honorable mention.
Booby spin.
It's honorable mention.
And he can pass.
I don't think so.
So
Good movie.
that, folks, is my mystery game that I would like to give credit to the superior Reese and the sometimes forgotten Luke Reese.
It seems like rightfully forgotten if he doesn't listen to the podcast.
I'm going to have to get him on board to be a regular listener.
Yeah, he's got to get back on here.
Can we look at some of the movies on that list you left out? Maybe just
You cannot.
a couple of honorable mentions.
No.
You got too much flack for Friday Night Lights.
This will probably be the last time that I participate in the podcast because I just don't feel like I got any respect. And I put a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears, my heart and soul into this.
There's going to be more blood if Friday Night Lights doesn't appear in a bracket.
Well, you're going to have more tears then because it's not going to.
I'm driving this Cadillac.
That's Caddyshack.
What?
What?
Sorry, what? That's it, folks. We let Jake go on a test drive, and he crashed the car before returning to the dealership. The disappointment on his face right now. No.
It's been nice knowing you, podcast world. I appreciate this run of 6 of 7 episodes.
I think ultimately it ended up okay. Much like the concession bracket where like I feel fine with the final the result. It's just that the road to get there hurt my soul a little.
It's like that with every bracket and anything.
I know.
It's gonna
I
happen.
get it.
Hey, you can't make everybody happy, you know?
That's right.
It's just the way it is.
I just want
That's
some
just
respect.
the way it is. Oh, I forgot we can't talk about music on this show. Gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, you've now put up with 7 full hours and some change of total nonsense. Tonight was a good one. Will, I was glad to have you here. That was you fit right in with the gang. And I'd like to welcome you back if you replace yourself with your father. Craig, feel free to stop on by the show.
He's got to listen
gotta
to at least
listen to
one
it, yeah.
episode first.
At least this one, you know? We can get his take on stuff. Will said he got him some new headphones. Is that a Father's Day thing?
Yeah, you can't release it till after
Son of a-
Father's Day. No.
Way to ruin the surprise.
I told you it was for
He's
Father's
not going to
Day.
listen to all
Yeah,
7
no.
episodes before.
There's no
by
chance.
Father's Day.
Just don't let him listen to this one until Monday. It'll be fine.
Or Sunday evening.
Sunday
If any of you see Craig between Saturday and Sunday,
don't tell him what his gift
tell
is.
him what his gift is. All right?
He probably won't believe you either. But it's fine.
Headphones. What are those goddamn things?
What do you think Carter got you for Father's Day?
I already got it, actually. It's an awesome chair.
I saw that pretty ugly.
I don't like that's like opening Christmas or Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. It's just
Oh, I always did that.
ugh.
We always did like the ones from each other on Christmas Eve, and then we had to do like family stuff on Christmas Day.
What's the difference between the ones from each other and the ones from family?
No, like I mean, like the extended family was
Oh,
always on Christmas Day.
Got you. Okay.
So like, and we probably wouldn't open all of them, but we'd open like 1 or 2 on
Yeah.
Christmas Eve before church or whatever. But yeah, it's almost Christmas, only 6 months from now.
Yep.
And at that point, we'll do a Christmas special in which we can maybe sing some carols for you. But until then, for Jake Reese, Will Utesch, Tyler Heck, I'm Collin Frederick. I hope you enjoyed Margarita Night as much as we did. Make yourself another one, though, because if one's good, two's better. And let's get the heck out of here.